and that was the end of the book.
Right. Well, sounds like it was a good read, at least, I suppose.
Yeah, it's a thin book, but anyway.
Uh,
Look, votes haven't been cast yet. Some votes haven't been cast yet, and it doesn't take long to find out people's ambitions, not by what they say, but by what they do.
mm,
Now, some could say that our friend Angela Rayner was being very prudent, whilst others would say she was setting herself up to stamp in on Keir Starmer's head at the first
mm,
opportunity.
yeah.
I've mentioned in several podcasts uh, some time ago
Mm,
that she's wanting to topple Starmer so
yeah.
she can be the next PM. Um, and here's just a little tidbit that I found out this morning
Yes.
that might reinforce that might strengthen that thought of mine uh, a little bit. So it was revealed yesterday on a podcast called The Reaction, which is done by the Daily Mail,
Mm,
that Rayner had just after that Labour Beergate thing was
yes.
settled. Just on that for a second. Keir Starmer the other day said that on Fridays at 6 o'clock he goes home. He doesn't do anything after 6 o'clock. The Beergate video was recorded on a Friday at 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So it must have been he must have been working overtime. Really? During COVID? Really?
Mm, yeah. Mm.
So with a beer bottle in his hand, chugging beer. Really?
Mm.
Hey, who am I? Who am I? But
Yeah, who
anyway,
is it? Just, yeah.
so um anyway, just after this Beergate was settled, there were four websites registered or website names registered with the
Mm,
authorities in the UK. One was called Angela4pm.co.uk with the
mm,
number four, Angela
yeah.
4.
Yeah. You get that.
Angela4pm, FORPM,
Yeah.
dot co dot uk.
Mm,
Hey, could be anybody.
yeah.
First name Angela could be. Right. The other two names, uh, Rainer4pm,
Mm,
FOR,
yeah.
.co.uk,
Mm,
and Rainer4pm with the number four,
yeah.
.co.uk.
Mm,
Now, Rainer is no stranger to controversy, as we know,
really?
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently, she was accused of opening her legs in the Commons in a provocative way.
Well,
Sat
yeah. Okay.
opposite, she sat opposite Boris Johnson when he was at the dispatch box, saying what he had to say. She was there
Yeah.
trying
Okay.
to give him a
Yeah.
flash,
I
right?
remember that. Yeah. Yeah.
And she as brazen as anything would say, "What are you looking at?" You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, and of course, the second home scandal, which was a little bit more recent. You know,
Yes. Yeah.
but of course, we have to be fair. We have to be
Mm,
fair. All both of these things came to naught. You know,
yeah.
they weren't, she wasn't reprimanded in the Commons
No.
nor by the justice on the second home.
Mm,
But you got to add into the mix that Starmer is not on a Christmas card list. Apparently, the two don't really get on.
okay. Yeah. That,
So, you know, as the two don't really get on,
mm,
if she stamps on his head, there's going to be no love lost.
No, okay, fair enough.
He's
Yeah,
he's only a stepping stone, right?
well, that's good.
So when you don't when you don't have a conscience, stepping stones are dispensable.
Yeah,
Um, the thing that worries me a little bit is because we've got all these ingredients of a power struggle,
yeah, yes, yeah.
uh, that these don't manifest themselves further along the road.
Mm,
Uh, because it might interfere with the Labour Party the policies.
yeah.
Saying that, uh, I don't even know what the Labour Party policies are because they were so vague, you know.
What day of the week was it? Yeah, yeah. What day of the week is it? Yes, I know.
So, you know, um, hopefully the infighting's not going to take centre stage over the next few years.
Yeah,
Um,
okay.
in this little thing, hat tip to fried baton chips. Fried baton chips is a pseudonym of a guy or a person, sorry,
Mm,
in the Daily Mail comment section
mm,
where he gave the nicknames of Starmer and Rayner,
mm,
which made me smile.
yeah,
So he said Starmer's Max Headroom
yeah, I can see that. Yeah, yeah.
and Rayner's crayons. Crayons.
Okay.
That,
Yeah,
that they just made me smile when I was reading his comment, and I thought that was brilliant. That
yeah,
crayons because of her hair.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not,
Orange hair, ginger hair.
yes,
Who
yeah.
knows what colour? I'd love to know what colour that hair is naturally.
No, no, please don't go there at the moment. No, please. I've just had breakfast. Um,
There you are. Over to you. I've done my little bit.
right, okay. Right. I think I mentioned before, I heard a radio interview with a politician. This must be about 25 years ago. Yeah, I've always had radio on in the background. Yeah, just a general thing. The politician was actually had quite a sense of humour. And I can't remember his name. Um, and they said to this politician, when you sit in the House of Commons, opposite the person, do you distrust the people opposite you, the opposition? He says, no, I can see them. I know what they're doing too. It's the people around me I worry about. Um, and that is political life. That's the role, the cut and thrust of political life. Um, nobody's your friend. Nobody's your enemy. Yeah, you've all got united. As H.G. Wells said about when he did his political life, and he's the author, he said, and he was a journalist, and he said, we're actors. That's what they are. That's what politicians are. Okay, they're not unintelligent people. Are they ambitious? Well, I imagine to be the top of a major party, or even a not so major party, you have to have a degree of ambition. If you don't, you're probably not the suitable person to be there. Quite honestly. Yeah. So yeah, they're a unique breed. You and I are probably too decent to go into politics. Um, it's I mean, the fact there is a bit of rivalry. I mean, sometimes it's not always good to be in the same room with people that agree with you in business. A chief executive officer sometimes likes people who disagree with him, asking the right questions. Yeah, if he can't answer them, there's a big glitch in the policy. Yeah. Now, which brings me on. Do Labour have any policies? No. Do the Tories have any policies? No. Do any other parties have any policies who are not destined to be in power? Of course they do. They've got a wish list. That's it. That's what a policy is. That's what a manifesto is. Not a policy as such as a manifesto. It's a wish list. If they get 25% of it done, They're doing well, probably. So like I said, the Reform Party have this contract. That's a strange name to call it. A contract is legally binding. So, like, on the off chance Reform do actually achieve the ultimate, that would really be a revelation in British and world politics. But yeah, and they get there, and then they've actually got to implement these policies. How does that contract work? It's a contract with the people. Can we sue them? Or can we, it's a bit of a strange thing. It's a selling point. But it's still a manifesto. It's a wish list. It's a series of ideas that may or may not be, depending on the environment, the political environment and other things, factors, may be achievable or may not be. Yeah. Admittedly, if they can't achieve them, I imagine that the Reform will explain why quite robustly. We'll probably find out exactly how the civil service operates at that point. Now, getting back to the Miss Rayner, I don't really think about her. I remember all the kerfuffle or the comments about her antics or her just adjusting her legs in the House of Commons, which might be just been all it is, giving her the benefit of the doubt,
I never knew that anybody could be that flexible, to be quite honest.
Well, yeah, I really don't. I really didn't pay much attention, to be quite honest, because I was the wrong. I was the wrong side of 8 pints at that point. You know what I mean?
She was putting her ankles behind her ears.
No.
I thought to myself, hello.
Well,
provocative.
I've just had breakfast. The fact of thinking Miss Rayner in any position, in any context, doesn't really. Well, as I said, I've not had 8 pints to even have a proper assessment of it. No, you've got to be careful here. On the other hand, she's in a political position. Yeah, I don't mind having a bit of banter about her.
Yes,
maybe she's got a thing about Boris Johnson. Again, she had 8 pints.
Do you mind? I've just had breakfast. I've just had breakfast as well.
Yeah, well, I don't think this is a political podcast. It's a get comedic, satirical, satirical, private eye thing. Yeah, again, I mean, this is the problem. We are faced with having people in charge of the country for the next 5 years whom I cannot take seriously. I find it difficult enough to take most politicians seriously. But there's going to be a lot of comedians who are going to be very, very disappointed, because now we're at the stage we can't tell jokes about our politicians. We're just electing them. I mean, how could you say something funny about them? They've already written their own material. Maybe that's the idea. Maybe we're not meant to take them seriously anymore. I mean, even okay, you look at that side, yeah. Then we've got wishy-washy, because we've already called names to the other one. Wishy-washy, yeah. Then we've got fabulous Farage,
like an Asian. Wishy-washy looks like an Asian Ken doll.
Yeah, well, yeah, careful here. Yeah, I mean, I've got nothing. He might be a perfectly intelligent guy. I think he is. I think they've all got a degree of intelligence.
Just very well isolated. He's protected too much when he was a kid.
Well, yeah, probably. I mean, yeah, he's out of touch. They're all out of touch. Starmer's out of touch. In reality,
I don't think he was ever in touch.
Yeah, well, in reality, Rayner is probably the most realistic person in some circles. I used to go drinking down a nightclub in Tots on a Friday in Southend called Tots on a Friday night. It's now defunct, unfortunately. Yeah, yeah, she's a sort of I've got to be careful here. Yeah, she might be the sort of younger lady in her younger days who may have frequented that place looking for um, some
Gentlemen.
entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah, gentlemen in tots. And I used to go there. I'm hardly a gentleman, you know. If you're going to go there, yeah, yeah. Yeah, anyone from Southend who's listening, yeah, tots will remember that of a certain age. Yeah, in fact, now she's probably the type of person who go down Mr. B's instead. Yeah, you wouldn't know that. It's where they're on their third time round, and yeah, yeah, you can understand that. Yeah, we used to have it. Yeah, grab an elderly person on a Wednesday night used to be the.
Oh, grab a granny night. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I think every town's got one of those.
yeah, yeah. I always remember when I had a course in Derby, and it was the pink coconut there. And we had this course, and the first day of orientation on this course, I said, yeah, if you go down to the pink coconut, don't bring her back to the school's accommodation. On the grab, yeah, don't go, yeah, the grab a granny night, leave granny there. She's quite happy. Yeah.
I'll tell you. I know we're wandering off the subject of this podcast a little
Well, it
bit.
was in relationship to Rainer, but yeah, okay, carry on.
But,
Yeah.
but let me tell you this little story.
Yeah.
I used to live in Switzerland for a
Mm.
while, and one fine night, I decided to go to this nightclub.
Mm.
It was a bit cold. It was a bit cold, so I had a thick sweater on. Right,
Yeah.
and I went in. I got past the door, and when I went in, I was the oldest guy there by a long chalk, by
Yeah.
a long chalk, with a
Yeah.
sweater on, and everybody else was with their open shirts, and dancing away there. And I was here with a sweater. Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Talk about out of place. Talk about a
Yeah.
spot on a domino.
Yeah. There was a song many years ago called "The Oldest Swinger in Town," but I imagine yeah, swingers now got different connotations from what it
And
did 40 years ago.
I've overtaken him by I had overtaken him by a long time. But anyway, let's get back to
Yeah,
the
the nitty gritty or the rainer of it all. Yeah,
yeah.
but I mean, yeah, okay. It wouldn't surprise me. She probably has aspirations. He's probably going with the old adage: keep your friends close, but your enemies closer, where you can see them. I mean, what does the deputy leader of a party really do?